Shortly after recording this week's show, I heard of the very sad loss to the Disney community, to her family, and all those who knew her of the wonderful Karen Henderson. Karen had been ill for a number of years now, but ever hopeful, ever inspirational about how she fought her courageous battle against ovarian cancer. I've been very fortunate to spend time with Karen on past trips to Walt Disney World. She attended my wedding, and last year in August, my friend Caroline and I spent a wonderful time with her at the Riviera Resort. One thing Karen and I had in common was our love for this little character. So I'd just like to start the show by having a few moments of reflection. Thank you.
Little orange bird, in the sunshine tree, won't you think of something sunny just for me? Think of funny thoughts, or a sunny word, that will make me happy, little orange bird. He thinks beautiful orange pictures and beautiful orange words, though his little beak can't even peep a squeak. All the thoughts he ever spoke appear in orange smoke. That's what makes the orange bird unique. Little orange bird, in the sunshine tree, won't you think of something sunny just for me? Think of funny thoughts, or a sunny word, that will make me happy, little orange bird. When you're just about green with envy, or gonna be feeling blue, you can use a little orange thought or two. When you start in blushing pink, or your temper turns you red, that's when the orange bird can see you through. Little orange bird, in the sunshine tree, won't you think of something sunny just for me? Think of funny thoughts, or a sunny word, that will make me happy, little orange bird. With his beautiful orange feathers and beautiful leafy wings, he's a fluffy little puffy sight to see. He can turn your frowns around when you see him looking down, the orange bird up in the sunshine tree. Little orange bird, in the sunshine tree, won't you think of something sunny just for me? Think of funny thoughts, or a sunny word, that will make me happy, little orange bird.
Little orange bird,
in
the sunshine tree, won't you think of something sunny just for me? Little orange bird, in the sunshine tree, won't you think of something sunny just for me? Little orange bird, in the sunshine tree, won't you think of something sunny?
You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 439 for Sunday, the 22nd of January 2023. Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jayne Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello there, Jayne.
Hello there, Michelle. How are we nearly at the end of January? When did that happen?
I don't care. It's getting closer and closer to my holiday.
That's true, yes. Let's look on the positive. Yeah, the problem is, though, Michelle, it's getting closer to your holidays. It's also getting closer to Star Wars Celebration for Simon and I, which is meaning it's getting a little bit stressful in this household.
Oh, you're not sorted out everything for your outfits.
We're trying to make our Jedi outfits. My boots arrived today, though, as we were recording.
Ooh.
Yay, I'm getting excited about a pair of Jedi boots.
Yeah, well, at least they're there.
True. I just need somebody to help with sewing. That's the problem.
Oh, so that's why you're trying to lure me down to Derby to go to the burlesque, because you want me to sew your pants.
No, pants are fine. It's the tabard and the big Jedi cloaky thing.
Yeah. I wondered it were too good to be true. Don't worry about sending me the money yet for the ticket, Michelle. It's fine. We'll sort it when I've ulterior motive.
No, me, never.
Right, we've got a podcast chain to crack on with
without
all of my woes and your woes and whatever. So have you some history for us, lovely?
I have some history, all from the 22nd of January, and we're going to go chronologically because that's how I like to roll. And we're going to start, it's all very recent history actually, or semi-recent. So we're going to start in 2010. That's not too far back, is it? And this was a surprise appearance by Dick Van Dyke in the touring stage version of Mary Poppins. And he did this at the, I'm going to say this wrong, so anybody in LA correct me, the Armason Theatre in Los Angeles. So obviously in the film, he reprised, he did a role as Mr. Dawes Sr., so that was the bank president, the old crotchety guy.
Oh, yeah.
So in the stage production, he actually reprised that role, but it wasn't actually written into the Disney Cameron Macintosh production when it first opened. So they did this kind of like specially, and it had to be written in so that this character could appear on stage because he wanted to have a little moment on stage at 84 years old, as you do. And in the audience that evening, there was Richard Sherman, and there was also the Disney historian archivist Dave Smith as well. And another little quote from Mr. Van Dyke: "Old actors don't die, they keep doing the same part over and over," which I thought was quite funny. So, yeah, Mr. Van Dyke on stage reprising his role in Mary Poppins. Then we're going to flash forward to 2013. And this one caught my eye because we know now that I'm going on a cruise, my first ever Disney cruise in September of this year. So this one caught my eye about top cruise ships in the world. So these were voted for by travellers. Mm-hmm. And in this one particular year, the oldest Disney ship, the Disney Magic, was voted number 1. And then Disney Wonder was at number 2. The Disney Dream came in at number 3. And then at the time it was the new ship, the Fantasy, came in at number 8. So out of the top 10 cruise ships at that time, all 4 of the Disney ships were in that top 10, which I thought was pretty cool going.
You see, you know quality when you see quality.
Yeah, I am going down that slippery slope now. It's on my YouTube playlist and stuff.
And you're starting going on the Dream, Jane.
I know.
So, you can't beat it.
I know. Very excited. I'm learning lots at the moment. And then just a little quick one to finish off. So we're going to jump forward again to 2018. This is when Minnie Mouse received her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It took her 40 years to get it after Mickey got his, but she's got it. And her star became the 2,627th star. How did they fit them all on that bit of pavement?
Oh, well, it goes on forever, love.
For miles and miles and miles. So, so she finally got a star 40 years after Mickey. There you go, my little bit of history for you.
Thank you very much. Well, I thought we'd start the day with a little bit of Disney hotel chat.
Oh, okay.
We all like a bit of hotel chat. Why do people pay what they do to stay in a Disney resort?
Good question. Lots of reasons.
So what do you think?
Oh, for me personally, if you're talking, I would say there's a lot to do with the immersiveness of it. The fact that you, as a big Disney fan, you're actually staying in the middle of the magic. That would be a big plus for me. The standard of service. which,
Yeah.
you know, the proximity to the parks,
Yeah.
good choice of food options,
Yeah.
good amenities.
Yeah. These are all the reasons why we say to people, if they're going to Disney for the first time, you've got to stay on a Disney resort because you get so many little extras. One, for me, you get the theming, so you never leave that bubble.
Mm-hmm.
There are transport links to help you to get from hotel to park with the minimum amount of inconvenience.
Which for us UK travellers can be quite a big bonus if you don't want to be faffing about with driving cars.
Absolutely. I know a lot of our American friends like to drive to Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
Disney have just dropped the car parking charges,
Whoop whoop.
so it makes it convenient and a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
But one of the things you also mentioned, Jane, was standard of service.
Yes.
So, in the UK, we have a hotel chain. Well, we have two that are very comparable. They're called Premier Inn and Travel Lodge.
Yes.
And these are the places where you go. You know the room's going to be pretty much clean. It's
Yeah.
going to be a comfy night's sleep.
Yeah.
And it's going to have the basic facilities. TV, Wi-Fi, tea,
Yeah.
coffee making facilities,
Yeah.
toilet, shower, clean towels, extra pillows and a blanket. And if it's summer, because we don't always have air-conditioned hotels, a fan.
Yeah.
And these hotels you can pick up sometimes as low as £36 a night, about $42, $43.
Yeah. Cheap and cheerful.
Yeah, sometimes it might be a little bit more depending on the location, and it could run into three figures.
Yeah.
But you know you're going to, if you're staying 2-3 nights, I've done it when I've gone down to places like Windsor. I've stayed and I know that every day I'm going to get my room cleaned and
Yeah.
I'm going to get my bed made.
Yeah.
And after a certain number of nights, I know the linens will be changed.
Yeah.
And I have that convenience of going down to the front desk and saying, can I have some more coffee and tea and so on.
Yeah.
Now, when I go to Walt Disney World,
Mm-hmm.
it's a holiday that I have saved up for. I have sacrificed for.
Yes.
And I really do expect that same level, but even more, because it's Disney. You are Disney to me and I put you on that pedestal, even though every now and again I may throw the odd occasional egg at you when you make a mistake. So when I realised that for my Walt Disney World coming holiday, it would cost £207 a night to stay at Pop Century. That is not cheap.
No, definitely not.
That is not what a value resort screams to me.
No.
When you think what is not available for a value resort as well, if you're staying at Walt Disney World, and that is the guarantee that I know my bed is going to be made every day.
Yeah. Is it alternate days at the moment
For
still?
value, it's alternate. And I am not happy. I am paying $207.
Well, I must admit, because obviously this is alluding to the fact that for deluxe, they've now gone back to daily housekeeping, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
And I must admit, I think I did see a few tweets that came out and it just said daily housekeeping is back. And I thought, oh, fantastic. And it was like, oh, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Read the small print.
Yeah.
And I know that there's obviously a lot of people are saying, is this just the beginning and are they going to extend it out to the moderates and to the value? Please, Disney, just go back to what you were doing because you did it so well.
Well, this is where there's the problem, Jane. They are saying it is a staffing issue.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, as an employer,
Yeah.
when you're wanting to attract people to work for your company, you want to have a good reputation
Absolutely.
and you want to offer a financial package commensurate with the role
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
the company's ideals.
Yeah.
Now, for me, the one people that make my day when I'm at Disney are the staff, are the cast members. And if you
Yeah.
are not paying those vital people a magical wage, why would they act magical for their guests?
No, absolutely. I mean, we've said numerous times before, Michelle, on this show that cast members at whatever level, whether it's somebody in the parks or whether it's, you know, that housekeeping staff or custodial, whatever you want to call it, whatever level, it's those interactions that have always made the vacation special. And they should be rewarded appropriately for that.
Absolutely. So the other day I saw this chat group going on Facebook with all of these things. It was your classic, what would I change? And I popped on there, having scrolled through the 70 plus comments of bring back this. Yeah, okay, I agree. Bring back a nighttime parade to Walt Disney World. That's something I have screamed for. Yeah, well done on the free parking. How about bringing back Magical Express from the airport? Absolutely, 100%. But of all 70 comments, not one person had said, pay your staff appropriately. So I posted it. Because to me, that will then, if you attract more staff, you get over the discomplaints of the housekeeping.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. So, thinking about my trip in April, where I am, you know, if it was paid for, it would be £207 a night.
Yeah.
I got thinking. And I got thinking, well, if I want to have my room cleaned every night, I have to go to a deluxe.
Which is going to be a big jump up, I would imagine.
No, Jane, obviously not. Okay, so the
here
deluxe I'm thinking about, I could start at Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Very nice, yeah.
Absolutely. I've priced it up for the self-same time I am there.
Okay.
I have got to pay £512 a night.
Wow. It's a big jump up from, was it 207 you said, for the value?
Yeah. But when I was looking, I had to look at what the most expensive is, because you know what I'm like.
Well, once your curiosity is spiked, you just have to keep on going, don't you?
Yeah. So I could stay at Disney's Riviera Resort.
Nice. Yeah, go on then.
Designed to capture the magic of Europe. Swim, splash and play at their 3 themed pools. It's close to Epcot.
Yeah.
It's a deluxe.
Yeah.
It's £3,323 a night.
Is that for the top floor?
It's for a 3-bedroomed grand villa to sleep 12.
Ah, okay. How many people are you grabbing to go with you now, Michelle?
If I want to get it to be the same price for me per person as my Pop Century booking, I need to share that 3-bedroom grand villa with 16 of my closest friends.
Wow. Well, I'd come if I could, Michelle.
I know. But again, it's just silly money.
I
really would pay £44,000.
Yeah. I mean, I know we've alluded to this before on various different shows, but there is this element of Disney need to be very careful where they're going with their prices, because, I mean, I appreciate, Shell, you are going at Easter, and it is, you know, notoriously an expensive time of the year to go, and we recognise that, and that's just one of those things for you with working in education. You know, your hands are tied as to when you can go, and that's just one of those things, isn't it? But, you know, we're getting to the stage where average people are not going to be able to afford to go to Disney World anymore, and that's really sad. You know, or people are only going to have to save for years and years and years to go once, whereas as historically, you know, people will be going every 1 to maybe every 3 years, something like that. I know when we made our very first trip and we didn't stay in a Disney resort, admittedly, back in 1991, we viewed it as we would never get out to Florida again, because, you know, back in the early 90s, travelling, you know, to the States wasn't the done thing greatly. And we looked at it as a once in a lifetime trip. And we did the same again when we went in 1996 and we got to stay at Port Orleans French Quarter. And that was our first time staying in a Disney resort. And, you know, it's a double whammy, because once you've stayed in a Disney resort, you really don't want to go anywhere else. From my own personal experience, it kind of spoils you. But again, we viewed it as we might not get back again. And because even back then, it wasn't a cheap vacation to take. But what's happening at the moment is, those sorts of prices that you're talking about, and say if you're paying, just simply looking at the value resort of over $200 dollars a night, then the least they can do, surely to goodness, is make your bed for you.
One would like to think. But anyway, that's my gripe. So I'd like to see the next announcement that Disney make that they're increasing their cast members' salary commensurate with what they need to be able to live.
Yeah.
And that way they will attract more staff to work in mousekeeping so that we can have the standards that we expect from the price point that is being charged.
And it's kind of a win-win situation for everybody, isn't it? Because if we have better experiences for better value when we're out there, our word of mouth is going to benefit Disney ultimately, because it will encourage more people to go back or to visit for a first time. So, pay the staff what they should be paid, get a better response from your clientele, and then it pays for itself, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So, I've had my gripe, Jane.
Okay.
I've had my gripe. Anyway, something else that caught my attention is we've been talking about the deals that are available for our American friends with regards to they are getting some kind of a version of a Disney dining plan.
Yes, this dining card that's valid for, well, you've got to be there for 4 nights, is it? Have tickets for 4-day tickets as well, minimum, and then it's worked out dependent upon the level of hotel that you're staying at and the number of nights that you're staying as far as I understand it.
Yeah. Now, this is very similar to the deal I got last year, whereby I was given a credit for each night for the room to use on a Disney gift card. Exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
And you could redeem this card at any food outlet that wasn't a merchandise outlet. So say, for example, I'm in the Magic Kingdom. I can't go into the candy store and try and buy anything with it there.
No.
Because they sell merchandise.
Yeah.
I couldn't go and get a icy, or whatever they're called, the glacier frozen slushy drinks over at the Big Top Circus, basically because they sell merchandise.
Yes.
So there are certain places you can't use it.
Yeah, I understand that, yeah.
But it was an incredibly easy system for us to use. We had it credited to our account, and then we had to go down to downtown Disney Springs, and pick up the card from World of Disney, and then we could have an electronic version on our phone, and whenever we wanted to pay for something, we just used that, and it was brilliant. We could keep a track of how much money we'd got left and so on, and it took a real worry away from us that if we wanted to splurge and have an expensive meal, we had this there and we could use it how we wanted. So if we wanted to eke it out as many days as possible, we could try and just do lots of snacks and counter service rather than having to have, with the old dining plan, you'd get a starter and a main meal. Well, you might not want that.
Yeah, because that was, as much as I took advantage of the dining plan over the last couple of trips that we made out. But you have got to get your head around that credit system and knowing that you've got a snack, and whether you're on a table service dining plan or a quick service dining plan, and what that actually equates to. So in some respects, having an amount of money that you can spend as you see fit is a bit easier to get your head around than it is knowing how many credits you've got left, or how many points you've got left to spend.
Completely agree. And it's not one of those cards that encourage you to eat more than anticipated either. So I felt it was really useful and quite a good tool. And I'm looking forward to a lot of our American guests being able to come back to us with some feedback about how they found it.
Yeah, because this will be the first time that it's been available, I think, to the Americans, if I'm reading that right, isn't it? Yeah.
But there's nothing for us in the UK at this moment.
No, there isn't. Because, obviously we had it last year. Like you say, you were able to take advantage of it, weren't you, for your trip last year? But we do get other things, though, don't we? If you're booking a package deal, because this is what this applies to. This is applying to if you're booking those package deals for our American friends with its hotel and its resort tickets for the UK guests, it's if you're booking through the Disney travel company, then you are getting things like $200 gift card and tickets. We get a really good deal on our park tickets, don't we?
Absolutely. We can have currently a 14-day park ticket from £509. So around about $540 will get you a 14-day park pass. Now, the downside is for the UK people is it's 14 days or nothing. There are not 7 days currently offered.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
if you're going for a week, you have to pay the $509. But for me, to use this ticket, it works out quite effectively over 14 days. It's very cheap, and it also gives you entry to the water parks. It gives you your photo pass, your memory maker, and it also gives you a one-time 15% off at the Disney Store online.
Yes. Yeah, I'm going to say, so although we're not getting the dining thing this year, in the UK, we are getting other things, and they are quoting that if you're booking at certain times and everything, you get up to 4 days free. I mean, I'll say that in air quotes, because obviously it is factored into those package prices, but effectively that's what they're promoting it as for us UK visitors. So there are benefits to coming from the UK, just not the dining one at the moment.
Which is a shame, but it is what it is at the end of the day, isn't it?
It is, yeah. I mean, I personally love taking advantage of the dining plan, old school dining plan when we're there, purely because it was one less thing to worry about looking at on your credit card bills when you got home. You weren't having to figure out where all that money was going to come from to pay for all the bits and bobs of food, never mind all the T-shirts, etc. that you'd bought. So I kind of like that element of having something prepaid, so I wasn't having to worry about unexpected bills. And that's the benefit of this dining promo card for our US friends, is the fact that it's one less bill at the end of the holidays that's going to come your way.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, considering what I'm going to be doing on my upcoming trip, my budget is my budget. I can't stretch it. I can't afford Jayne. Jayne Plus is not going to happen.
No, and this is the thing, isn't it? Like we were talking about before with regards to, hotel room prices. It's, it's particularly for international travellers, we've got excessive airfares to contend with at the moment. Then the room prices on top. Yes, we're going to benefit a little bit with the park tickets, like we've just said, but then it's the expense of why you're actually there. So when you've saved up to make this sort of vacation, you've also got to bear in mind you've got to save up on top of that as well to cover anything that you may want to buy while you're there. And like you say, Michelle, if you're looking at a particularly busy time of the year like Easter, you can guarantee that your Jayne Pluses are going to be, $29 a day, Mark?
I know, it's going to be quite silly, but I cut my cloth accordingly when I'm looking at things like dining. I've made my choices that I'm not going to be going to places that might cost me $60 to $90 for a meal. I'm going to look at things where I can make those economies because I have a budget. I'm going to have to stick to it. And I think over the next few weeks, we might do a few fun discussions on where you can get the absolute best bang for your buck. Little sneaky things like if it's a meal that comes with fries, you can just order the actual burger and you don't need to pay for the fries if you don't want to eat them.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's little things.
It's known those little hacks, isn't it? It's like ordering kids' menus and items and things like that, isn't it? When you don't want a big full burger or whatever it may well be, And yeah, sit down dining is lovely, but it's not the be all and end all when there is so much else on offer.
Let's move on now to the Festival of the Arts.
Oh, I don't like the acronym. Why do they have to call it this?
Disney love a good acronym, Jayne. Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor. Alien Swirling Saucers.
They are bad at it though, aren't they?
Yeah, well. Anyway, Figment Popcorn Bucket with 40th ribbon for Epcot.
Ah, that's what's different about it this year, is it?
And you can do a mobile order, so you don't have to wait 87 years to pick it up.
Yeah, which I think is way better. At least we're not seeing those silly long queues that we saw last year when it was released.
Yeah. However, I have seen quite a few people going up to some of the festival booths with prams or pushchairs and filling them with merchandise. I wonder where that's going to be going.
Yeah, I must admit, I think I was watching a vlog. It might have been reporting on day one of the Festival of the Arts.
I think I saw the
And
same one.
possibly, and it was like going into where all the merch was and literally nothing being left, sort of thing. It was literally getting cleared out almost as soon as things have been put on. And it's like, yeah, and then the cynical side of you, like you said, Michelle, goes, oh, right, okay, so what's going to happen to all that then? Yeah, and that's just sad, isn't it? Because it's not in the spirit of it.
No, it's not. But I have seen quite a lot of delicious food that I am very excited about, hoping very high standards ahead for Flower and Garden if that the changes that I'm seeing to this festival.
Okay.
There's a lot of plant-based options if you do not want to eat a meat-based diet. If you do want to eat a meat-based diet, there's lots of things.
Good.
Admittedly, some things, in my opinion, are better value than others. Particularly when I look at the portion sizes. I think possibly restricting a budget to sort of thinking buying that little card that you can wear as a bracelet and saying, right, this is my limit, is a good way forward, because, you know, some of the items are $9-10, Jane. So I think there are ways where you can get what you want but be really sensible at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots and lots to choose from. I mean, I've not really looked at it in depth, to be fair, because there's quite a few new bits, but there's also things that are repeating from previous years. But like you say, and like we've always said with food items, it's kind of being a bit canny with how much you're going to park out for, because obviously some of them can be quite expensive for this portion that you're actually getting. Because bear in mind, these are all kind of snacky sized, aren't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, if any of our listeners are going over there, it would be really good for you to tell us what's the top tip and top meal for you to go and do. I have seen so many wonderful arty activities that are available. It's such a fun little festival where you get to go and chat with your favourite Disney artists, look at their new work, you can become part of the artwork.
Yeah.
And not forgetting that it is a festival of the arts, there are some fantastic musical shows you can go and see at the America Garden Theatre. And a top tip we've mentioned over and over is look at the dining packages available that gives you a seat to be able to see these rather than waiting 2 hours in line.
Yeah, I mean, I know we like to talk about our food, but Festival of the Arts obviously is arts. So there's lots of stuff under that banner, so to speak. So, yeah, I must admit, I mean, I'm a big sucker for anything arty anyway. And I think this is definitely on one of my bucket items to actually get out there one year. But I do love all the chalk art. I think the chalk art, when they do the 3D pictures, is like, I can't get my head around it. And I see the work in progress photos of how they got there, and it's like, how they plan that out is beyond me, and I'm absolutely gobsmacked by it every time I see it.
It's fantastic, Jane. I totally agree, and I'm feeling very blessed I have the ability for that there YouTube to be on and to watch it, along with getting messages from our wonderful family over in the Disney Dream Girls podcast family, sending messages and pictures and mini reports. It's fantastic.
Yeah, please share.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we're going to call it a day this week for this week's show. Don't forget, end of last week's show, we did set that question to win the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World 2023. And thank you to our friends at the unofficial guide for offering this to us. Catch us on Instagram and Twitter at DisDreamGirls. You can find all our past shows at DisneyDreamGirls.com on our wonderful website. All of this is made possible by our wonderful friends over at the Disney Dream Girls Patreon page. Their support keeps our show advert free and keeps the finances under control for us. So a big thank you to you guys. But until next week, it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.